can definitely recognize that name.
Cool. Cool, cool. How do you feel about seeing some of these guys sitting in Diamond right now? It's pretty new to the season, right?
Yeah, well, it looks like this initial JT guy has 120 wins alone already. That's very
Damn, son.
impressive. Um,
I wonder how many losses he has. You know what I'm saying?
yeah. Um, well, I mean, you do get placed at Plat 1, so he's definitely won more than he's lost, it looks like.
Hmm.
I mean, Plat 1 is the highest you can get placed at.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
But
Fair enough.
This Y guy has not played any of his placement games. I mean, has not finished his
He
placements, it
is
looks
a
like.
Jin Air Green Wings fan, though.
Yeah.
What does that mean to you?
That means that he's a big fan of Koreans. It might
Okay.
be Monte Cristo in disguise, actually.
Okay. Okay. What about Silver? Oh no, Silver was an Immortals fan and then just changed his thing really quick.
Okay, so maybe he's just a bandwagoner, or maybe he's just like
Hmm. Hmm.
been a fan of the roster or something like that.
Yep.
Um, Maybe he tries to incorporate their play style or their personality into his own
Hmm. Hmm.
play.
Hmm.
We know that Immortals is a very they're a team that hypes each other up a lot.
Hmm.
So maybe he'll try to do that today at this tournament.
How do you think about it's a little bit off topic, but I'm just curious, how you feeling about this new TSM lineup?
This new TSM lineup.
Hmm. Because they're doing super good right now.
Uh, I'm a little iffy on my LCS knowledge these days. I do know TSM
Damn.
hasn't. I know TSM hasn't been living up to
No, they
expectations.
definitely have not.
Yeah, but I hear that they have been working on it and they've been looking a little better.
I hope so. They just
This,
fired their coach.
oh, that's
They're like, it wasn't like their coach. It was like their like player coach kind of thing. You know what I
yeah.
mean? Like their lifestyle coach or whatever. Yeah, they suck. It's depressing. CLG,
Wait,
rest in peace.
who's TSM's roster again?
Come on, I'm gonna let you figure this one out.
Okay, I just know there's Bjergsen on it.
Okay.
He's all right.
Yeah, he's alright.
Um,
He's okay. He plays Syndra sometimes.
oh yeah, I heard that he jacked like someone played GBM played Zillion and he's like I played this champion. I was the one who thought of it. Stuff like that.
Actually, I was the one who thought of it
Oh,
like a long time
mm,
ago.
same actually. No, wait, actually, I think I played it one day before you did.
I never played it. I just thought of it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, I implanted the thought into your head,
As soon as people
basically.
started talking about it in season 5, like world stuff, when what's his name? People were trying to figure out like who Yellow Star's like secret support was. I was like all over that.
Mm,
I was like, damn, that must be
interesting.
so good.
It's very interesting.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
I'm
Speaking of
glad.
interesting things, we are jumping into the bans. I heard there was a good Corki last game.
Yeah, there was a Corgi, and he was like one of the only reasons why the blue team stayed in the game. I know you're listening to this, Carl, and it's unfortunate to say, but your Rengar really didn't do that much work.
Yikes.
The Nidalee and Tom Kench ban. So we see Tom Kench being a frequent ban. He is very annoying to play against, especially in these kind of competitions where you're in the same games. You have very high ranked people and low ranked people, and what I like to do, and I know what a lot of the other high ranked players like to do is they like to pick off the lower ranked players, and Tom Kench is really good at making sure that someone on your team doesn't get picked. Yeah, like if Ari is going to go in for a charm and they land the charm, then Tom can just eat your teammate. Um, Talon, really, we see him being played a lot recently because of Duskblade of Drakthar. It's not like a magic card, but it's not. It's a new item in League of Legends. Um, Gangplank is really good. Has been banned. He's been. I see him being played a lot today. He has really good wave clear, and Mao had picked up, which is a really good to force initiates in these kind of tournaments where people are kind of uncoordinated.
I love seeing. We used to have like back when I used to play competitive back in season 2. I always had 4 people on my team, and I was always trying to find my 5th player, right? And this was back when like Alistar was kind of underrated, but we would just get Alistar every game, every single game we'd pick up Alistar for support, and our 5th player, our support, was basically the Alistar bitch, and that's what we referred to them as. We were like 4 core, one more, we got to get our Alistar bitch, everything like that. And I think a lot of times in these solo queue tournaments, you wind up finding someone who is a Malphite bitch. You know what I mean?
Mm,
Someone who's
yeah.
like not necessarily Oh, speaking of Alistar, there you go. Someone who's not like the best mechanical player, but can still play this one champion pretty good. Just throw them on Malphite, and like they'll do their job. You know what I mean?
Exactly, yep. And Alistar's combo is kind of like a Malphite ult in itself. But we're
It's a little
getting
bit harder now though to WQ
yeah,
combo. It's actually really embarrassing anytime you see somebody mess it up.
yeah. It feels like just the combo is like easy to dodge now because now if they I think what they did was okay, so he's not. But I think what they did for Alistar was his headbutt goes a little bit slower now. So now if you have like a dash move and you see him dashing in for the pulverize, then you can just dash out. You don't even have to flash anymore. Um, Kindred picked really good pick here. Little did you guys know, or like here's a little bit of information if you guys didn't know. Um, Kindred actually a player who has like this statistically shown where if you have like over 50 games on Kindred, you have like a 75% win rate on the champion, which is like more so than any other champions that you could one trick. So
Damn.
yeah,
Two very strong pickups then in that Lucian and that Kindred. That's like a lot of damage, a lot of survivability. Obviously, those guys have a lot of movement. Um, Picking up the tanky Nautilus. We saw him in LCS a couple days ago. Ramus has been seeing a little bit of play in Korea as well. Lissandra picked up Ezreal. What are you thinking so far about these teams?
I wouldn't even be surprised if blue team went for a Yasuo. I think I did see Supermandathoe contemplating a Yasuo pick earlier when I was at the venue. Looks like he's just going to hover the Victor for now, though. Yeah, Yasuo. I mean, Yasuo wouldn't be a bad pick here, but there is Lissandra. There's like a lot of CC on purple team right now, and
The
I would.
Kindred ult too.
Yeah, I wouldn't really pick any assassin types or people that are like squishy that has to get somebody killed before they die with them because there's the Kindred in there. Yeah.
Yeah, which makes it a little bit interesting to see a Nocturne, and that's exactly why I think going towards the Rek'Sai is a good idea. Last pick, what are you thinking?
Yeah, Dawnbringer definitely, like I said, he's a big Anivia player. Oh, there we go, locked in the Anivia. I'm really excited to see this game. They have like a lot of AoE damage. They're just gonna like blue team is just gonna be so slow during the fight. I'm just imagining it now. They're just taking damage. They don't even know where it's coming from on blue team. Um, Basically what blue team has to do is like they have to like wombo combo like because they have like four backline champions on purple team. Um, they have to like wombo combo the Kindred so she can't get her ult off, and Lissandra like hopefully can't ult herself, and
Yeah.
then like, they'll win like by that basically.
There's an insane amount of control coming out this game. Not only just in terms of like zone control and CC and everything like that, but also, you know, you can never forget about that Kindred ult.
Yeah.
It's just huge. One thing that I can point out that as an Anivia player I can find kind of annoying. Um, she does have a really good lane against Victor, but when it gets into the late game team fights, if you spread out your knockups against an Anivia, you can interrupt her ultimate. And all you need to do is like even if you silence or knock her up or anything like that, her ultimate will stop channeling, and there's like a 5 second cooldown before you can cast it again.
Mm.
So if you keep knocking her up or like you focus your CC onto her, she actually does quite a bit less damage and quite a bit less zone control. It looks like they have, if Alistar W's her once and then Q's her once and then, Rek'Sai knocks her up or something like that, it does get annoying.
Uh, I feel like in this game it's because Lucian isn't a Blade of the Rune King builder. If blue team gets ahead, he will have an insanely hard time trying to cut down like their front line. Like Lucian,
Hmm.
I think I imagine on the damage charts that Lucian will have like one of the lowest damage delts. I mean, no, wait, no, because he'd have a lot of damage because he has to hit the front line a lot. I mean, it just depends on basically how far ahead the blue team tanks get. Recently there was like a Malphite rework where he can get like 600 armor in a game now because he gets like 30% bonus armor, something ridiculous like that on his W. Um, yeah, but Malphite won't be able to just build straight armor this game because he does have Anivia and Lissandra to worry about. And actually, Purple Team does have some ability to cut down tanks because if Kindred can get stacked. So I think what they need to do is hopefully get Dawnbringer and initial JT ahead.
I really, really do like this team coming out from the purple team. I think it's really awesome. It's just their only front line is that Nautilus, and he is a support.
Yeah.
So if he starts to lose his lane bottom, he's just gonna die over and over and over and over and over again. He'll just get blown up by the Ezreal and the Victor.
And if he can't, if he's too squishy to be able to stay at the front and like take some hits, like apply some pressure, then basically what he's doing, he's staying in the back line with like. And if you have everyone that's trying to stay at the back line, then you just every time that blue team takes a step forward, purple team is just gonna take a step back and a step back and a step back.
Hmm.
Then they lose pressure just like that. And eventually, you guys are gonna walk back to the point where you guys like accidentally group because you guys are gonna get into a corridor or something like that. Then Malphite ults you, and then on top of that, Alistar is going to combo. On top of that, Victor's going to W you, and he's going to ult and laser, and you guys are already dead.
Yeah.
Just like that,
Yeah.
basically. So they really have to get their tanks ahead, or Purple Team has to be the one to initiate these fights.
Interesting pick up in the summoner spells though, coming in from that Victor as well. Ghost Flash. What do you think? What are your thoughts on that?
I think if I was him, I would have taken a cleanse, actually, since there isn't really a cleanse item for mages. There's like Zhonya's, but that's not really a cleanse item. It's just like, okay, what do I do? What do I do in 2.5 seconds, you know? Yeah, I think I would have taken cleanse definitely because a lot of the damage is him. Ezreal, if they fall behind, they don't do damage, especially if you go to blue build, which we have been seeing a lot of play recently. Um,
I actually think that Dawnbringer has quite a lot of kill potential in this lane.
yeah,
Like I was saying before, Nivea is actually quite good against Victor. Sure, he's a little bit longer range, but the matchup just favors her as well because she's able to engage quite easily from that range. She wave clears, she can harass easily, and Victor's kind of got to come in and auto attack for his for a lot of his trade pressure, and that sets up an RE combo for Nivea really well. But him not having any defensive spells like cleanse, barrier, exhaust, TP, anything like that. Excuse me. I think he's in a lot of trouble this game actually. If Dawnbringer is as good of an Nivea player as you say.
yeah. Well, we see that Supermandathoe has been challenger in season 3 actually, so that's quite impressive. I'm sure he knows a bit about his zoning and um like when someone can kill somebody else, win conditions, stuff
Yeah,
like
good
that.
point.
Um, okay, so we're seeing a delayed leave from Victor. Doesn't look like purple team is going to invade. Looks like everyone's just going to play standard here. Probably just 5-pointing.
Yeah, and that's one of the things, right? And Nivea, her second blue is going to be a huge point of contestation. That's where a lot of her power comes from. Just being able to perma
Yeah.
shove those waves forever.
And the thing is if Victor can shove the tower into the Anivia and then pressure his blue buff, like like if Victor, because Victor can just push, he's one of the only champions that can push in with one ability, and if he pushes in the whole wave, then Dawnbringer has to either you have to give up blue, or you might get killed in the banana bush by your blue because Rek'Sai and Victor are waiting there, or you lose the wave. I mean,
Yeah.
yeah, you lose the wave, you might get killed there, or you might lose your blue. It's just one of them.
Yeah, and Nivea really, really suffers in the early levels too. Being pushed in a tower, her auto attacks are very awkward. She needs to kind of have that even lane for most of the fight. But here we go. Both junglers starting on the bottom side of the map, and they will get going in just a second now. All lanes looking pretty standard here.
I think Malphite is gonna have a bit of a hard time in the top lane. I don't think he's gonna go a magic item first. If he does, then he just won't have any like damage at all because he scales so well with armor.
Yeah.
Actually, he could go Abyssal Scepter. Which would be like kind of risky. He'd go like partially damage Malphite.
My favorite top lane build against APs has always been Chalice, but I don't know what
Oh,
he
yeah.
would necessarily build it into.
Um,
Looks like a lot of attention from this Alistar in the bottom lane. He's going to try and rush that level 2, but he's getting pushed in so quickly. That's a good start for AsianGoneWild.
both of these teams have
There we go. A big snare onto Y. He takes so much damage. AsianGoneWild only gets one passive proc off, but Jordan Man takes a little bit of damage as well. Not a lot returned back. Both popping their potions.
Blue team's ball lane already popping the heal. Yeah, both of their ball lanes have insane level 2 pressure. Unfortunately for blue team, red team just got theirs first, which might have, that's huge. in their
Yeah.
lane.
That Lucian level 2 power spike, though. Looks like Kindred is picking up her first mark, and will get that right away. Lucky for her, it did spawn on the Scuttle Crab.
Yeah, it looks like Anivia is trying to prioritize pushing in the lane more, but she's taking so much damage from the Victor already. Anivia does have the egg though, and looks like both junglers are aware that the other jungler is at mid as well. They both didn't do their second buff yet. Looks like Rek'Sai going to go for an aggressive play here. That's why Victor is pushing in right now, and Victor is ready to respond to the counter jungle.
Yeah, like I was mentioning before, Anivia just has such a hard time pushing her wave out. She's not going to miss that much. The wave's in a decent spot, but you know, top lane too looks like there might be a huge fight around this red buff.
Good ward by Dawnbringer to make sure that he knows if they're committing to the invade or not. But them just staying in the bush for a little bit caused Lissandra to back off the wave, which let Malphite catch it back up in CS. Oh, big trade right there in the mid lane.
Yep, and that red buff will go over to the purple team, to its rightful owner. Great arcane flux here. Karoo's Life headbutted into tower range. It's going to take a lot of damage. Just evening that lane up a little bit. No summoner spells burned, so he's lucky, but that could have gone very, very bad for him.
Yeah, it could have gone even better for blue team actually. He did not have to pulverize first. He could have headbutted and then pulverized because he, like the range after he headbutted did put him into tower. So he could have put him into tower range and then pulverized, which probably would have made Nautilus burn a flash or something like that.
Minibeat playing aggressively, signals that Silver is here. Are not going to get the knockup before the jump comes off. Comes off after a little bit of CC and a little bit of damage means Rula will back off and be fine here in the bottom lane. That appears to be Kindred going for her second mark. So really ahead right now. Very lucky with the spawns, picking up that second Scuttle Crab. That's phenomenal for her.
Yeah, it helped. That play right there helped Malphite relieve a lot of pressure now. Because the wave is frozen to almost at his tower, like the perfect.
Here comes the flash engage. The CC though, the auto attack coming out from the Nautilus, actually preventing any sort of follow-up. That's incredible off of that flash pulverize there. Good try, but poorly executed.
Yeah, so we see Rek'Sai trying to. Oh, actually,
He goes.
Okay, there we
Here
go.
comes the
He should
ghost.
use
Yeah,
egg,
he's
yeah.
going to egg. They could kill him definitely. You lose a lot of MR and armor when you are into egg, but I guess they'll just back off. They weren't really expecting the egg to be popped that easily.
Tower's still the wave is still frozen for Malphite here, so he is. Oh, a little bit of a trade going on here, and he misses the hook. Yeah, Malphite now has a bit of a lead going on at the top lane.
Yeah,
Big
this
trade
is
going
where
on.
Nevia starts to win, as long as she can get that blue buff.
Yeah.
So here we go. Looks like we're going to see a lane gank coming on. Initial JT there just in time. They do get the slow off onto him. Another slow coming out from that Kindred passive, and that is going to be first blood coming out to her.
That kill right there might have just won Dawnbringer his lane, because now they lost so much pressure. If I'm not mistaken, blue buff should be up for their team soon. Oh, that laser actually might have just delayed him from getting the blue again.
Yeah. I'm interested to see what build the Anivia is going for, because a lot of times you're going to build around, like, kind of, if you're going to be able to get the blue buff or not. So going for that that catalyst makes me think that he is pretty confident he's going to get that blue buff.
Yeah. Also, this fight, that blue, I'm assuming there's going to be a fight here. Oh, Rek'Sai really smart to getting this scuttle, because Kindred had her third stack on this scuttle again. Really lucky for her. Yeah, we'll also have to see what items Malphite and Lissandra buy around the time of the second blue buff.
Yep.
But that fight at top, that gank, even if it didn't get a kill, it definitely helped Malphite a lot and froze his tower.
Yeah, look at his CS too. He's up quite a bit.
Actually, before that event, he was like tied or like even behind Lissandra in CS a little bit.
It's a sweet skin too.
Yeah, big fan of it. A lot of pressure for red team on the bot.
Yep. Take a look at our Alistar. He is potentially looking for a roam onto that Anivia. Anivia, who does have flash mini beat, forced to use both of his ultimate and flash. Dawnbringer could be in a risky situation. This is a great path to take from Alistar if he can go behind, but like you were mentioning before, it's really easy to flash that ability to now. No egg, Supermandathoe. Oh, the stun too. This is crucial. Anivia will get headbutted. Oh,
Oh,
does she have
really
wall skilled up?
unfortunate.
She doesn't have wall skilled up, but her ult is up available. Is she going to be able to live? Nope, she's going to go down
All
there.
right.
Good try, though, and a lot burned from that team.
Really good gank by blue team. That's exactly what they needed to do. Now their blue buff is up, but they can't give it to Nivea right now. And Kindred is on a mana. I don't know what she's doing trying to fight here. Yeah, Rek'Sai is faster when he's in that in his underground form.
Nice, good
And
jump.
she just
Tags
aggroed
tags the Rift Herald, though. Running into Malphite, but Malphite not cutting her off very well, and she'll be okay.
Blue team actually not going to steal their blue buff right now. They're just going to apply pressure mid. They're just trying to snowball Supermandathoe right now. We already see him doing massive damage with his trades. Same with the Anivia actually, but Anivia didn't go for a damage item. Instead, that she just went for the catalyst, and I think, yeah, Victor upgraded his laser, and he got one extra Doran's ring, so he does have the damage advantage.
Interesting trade coming up from this bottom lane. AsianGoneWild actually going really aggressive. Jordan opting to play passive and sort of defend there. Mini beat in trouble once again. No ultimate, no flash means he's going to go down. And that is a second kill going over to the red team. Wide, level 5, does get hit by the hook and the ultimate. Exhaust comes out. He does arcane shift away. AsianGoneWild is now the one in trouble. It's a 3v2. There's no one that can come help him right now. Oh, he does go down, and Supermandathoe is there for the 4v1. And that is going to be a 2-for-1 trade in exchange for a little bit of pressure out top. I'm sure Crew's Life is going to go down in just a second. Really interesting kind of like trades there going on for like once they committed Alistar out of the lane to get pressure in mid. They got a bunch of kills in mid. They didn't get the tower. They gave up bottom tower. They've got a kill bottom. They got 2 kills bottom. Simultaneously mini beat the one being targeted right now. You know, it's like, what do you think of where kind of these junglers are paying attention right now, and how do you feel about the Alistar basically giving up that bottom lane in, you know, about 30 CS?
Well, the thing is that Ezreal is one of the bot lane champions that can farm solo if their bot support wants to roam, because he has his Q and he does have his E for an escape. Looks like yeah, we just saw that Alistar he could have gotten the kill, but he tried to give it up to Supermandathoe, trying to snowball their mid even more, because they are afraid of Dawnbringer having the potential to carry this game. Very scary guy on Anivia. They still haven't taken their second blue buff actually. If they get this gank off on Anivia right here, it will. If they get this gank off on Anivia and they don't give her the blue buff, it'll just be really unfortunate. It'll be huge. It'll be a huge impact on Anivia's potential to carry this game, basically.
I kind of feel like if they had something that was like a little bit more of a split push threat, it would be such a more significant problem having that tower go down in the bottom lane. I guess there's no one that can really take advantage of that right now. If they can get vision, sure, but they don't really have any sort of you know, objective comp or poke comp or siege comp or anything like that. They really just have like a big 5v5, you know, kind of fast push comp with the double 80 carry. So I don't know. It's interesting. Mini Beat might be able to be sent down there to kind of hold that wave and freeze it, while his bottom lane, his dual lane, swaps up to the top lane. If that's something maybe that they want to do some cheeky lane trades, the game will resume in just a second.
So he does use the teleport, so that means they lose pressure in Dragon a little bit. Yeah, there we go. So Nivea is getting her blue buff now. They didn't end up committing to the gank. Looks like just blue team's bot is just farming at the tower because they already lost their bot tower. Just looks pretty standard from here right now.
Yep. Minibeat does have his ultimate up again, so Rula could be the target of a gank, especially considering there's no TP available now.
Really good pink ward by Dawnbringer, because he knows that Alistar since they lost their bot tower already, that Alistar and Ezreal potentially are looking to roam to mid and gank him. So he gets a lot of value out of that pink ward. Probably just
Nice. Good
yeah.
kill from AsianGoneWild on that word. There we go. Everyone's just kind of farming up right now, just chilling, looking for a play, pushing the lanes. And Silver does know where Dawnbringer is right now. The Chilling Smite comes out. The knockup does go up as well, and a decent wall, but it's only level 1, so it's not going to really separate anyone. Silver's on a killing spree. Rula does have his teleport canceled by the ult from Minibeat and gets quite a bit of damage there as well. The E is taken at the last second, and he will be all right for now.
That kill right there is huge. Now Supermandathoe can pressure mid, or they lose pressure elsewhere because they have their red team is keeping their jungler at mid to get the farm while Anivia is dead. Kindred going for the invade right now because they know Rek'Sai was around the top area.
Oh, and here's Victor trying to choose something off here. If Initial JT can use his mobility well, maybe he can avoid some of these spells. There's the trap that goes down. He does get chunked by the laser, though. Don't forget, Initial JT does have his ultimate, doesn't actually use it, does get taken out as well. AsianGoneWild firing the culling the wrong way. Here comes the Nautilus ult, and it's again a 4v2. This bottom lane is just having a hard time. Dawnbringer no TP, Rula no TP. There's nothing they can go to save these guys. And another just massive cleanup coming out from this team on the blue side. Still down gold, but up in kills by about 4, and they're going to pick up this dragon as well.
Amazing play by this Alistar. All of his he actually didn't let the Kindred use her ultimate because she was in the air a little bit from the headbutt, or was it pulverized from Alistar, and then he got the double pulverize down at the bottom. So this guy definitely knows his combos. He's played the new Alistar already. Also really well played by Supermandathoe. She cut off the Kindred when she was trying to escape through the area, the pathway right beside the dragon.
You know, I'm not really that impressed by this scenario so far.
I mean, he's just trying to make the most of what he's been given, I guess. I mean, he has gotten the blue buff. He has been warding correctly from what I've seen.
It's a very early roll at the very least.
Yeah.
But 0-2 right now, not able to find any real pressure on a Supermandathoe.
It seems like this Nautilus is just he's not roaming with the Alistar. He's just protecting Lucian right now. I think at this point, since I think Nautilus really doesn't even have to be with Lucian right now. Nautilus can stop some of these Alistar roams.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they've got some good wards out, but it's mostly defensive, and they're the ones that have gotten that tower down, so he should be taking advantage of the knowledge. For example, seeing Rek'Sai on the top right now, he needs to go get some deep vision so he can sort of track that Alistar a little bit better.
Looks like the Malphite did actually end up going Abyssal, like I said. I think now, if they ever were to join their teams in a team fight, I think blue teams would win definitely. Malphite's ult E already just does amazing damage. And like if Victor could just get his E and ult off, even if he dies with it, they'll probably win the fight anyways because they're just all nuked so hard. Blue team is definitely on a bigger power spike than red team is right now too.
Oh, good hook onto Supermandathoe. Doesn't matter how much gold you have when you're dead, the Nautilus ult comes out. But Alistar pops his ultimate to break that CC immediately. The Kindred ult is good, but Nautilus walks out and lives with 1 health. Supermandathoe is on a killing spree now, picking up that Kindred, a 1-for-1 trade. The Rek'Sai obviously going down as well.
Jeez, actually.
Oh, a flash in! Oh, that was really awkward. Oh, flash REing Ignite.
Looks like Rek'Sai and Malphite are both going damage. The only tank on their team is Malphite, looks like. I mean, the Alistar. Only one really getting tanky right now. And Nautilus is kind of getting behind because he's not really helping out roaming. He's just like staying around for experience. I mean, he is the same level as Alistar because Alistar has participated in 7 kills anyways. But yeah, one of the big things is Nautilus can't get like behind too much. Like if he doesn't get tanky basically, then he just loses so much pressure as just being like red team's only tank. He has to find some way to make a little bit of gold.
All right, so here we go. Coming up on about 16 minutes into the game. Second Dragon will be up soon. Culling popped out by AsianGoneWild. He's trying to get his Infinity Edge, or sorry, his oh goodness, what's that item called?
Essence Reaver.
Essence Reaver. Thank you very much. He is off towards his power spike. But if you take a look at Ezreal, I actually kind of really like that, picking up the Iceborne Garland against the double 80 carries, just trying to keep them in the back line. Maybe try and keep this team separated when Rula goes in or something like that. Interesting.
It also helps him farm up a little bit because there's a little bit of AoE damage, and he's severely lacking in farm compared to the Lucian right now.
Yeah, fair enough. And it makes me kind of think maybe like if Rula is able to, you know, if say Malphite goes in or something like that, or Silver goes in, they can just lock him up and burst him 100 to 0 so quickly. They have so much single target damage, especially with that Anivia as well. She can really chunk somebody.
Big lasers already. Yeah, 4-1 and 4 Victor already. He is farming relatively safely. He can just E the wave. As a bit of a delayed skill shot, which means he can fire it and then walk away, and then he'll still be able to get like the entire wave at a safe distance. I think Malphite is going to be losing his tower first. Lissandra is pushing up. Rek'Sai's going to punish her for it.
Yeah, looks like a good read coming from Silver. Actually, will it follow up? There's the ultimate, but he whiffs completely. I think he was trying to predict the flash, and just she was CC'd and wasn't able to get it out in the first place. They do get the kill regardless. Initial JT could be in trouble here. There's the ultimate underneath the tower. Malphite needs to stay in there. I don't know why he's going away. And they do pick up that kill as well. Jordan will take another hit. And that will be an easy, easy cleanup for them. 2 kills for none. Anivia, will she line the Q up? No, she does not. Gets headbutted away. There's the Nautilus ulti. That should be an easy Q for Anivia. There it comes. She will get the kill onto Jordan MD, or Jordan Man 5 rather. Ezreal trying to pick a little bit off. And that is a 2-for-1 trade. It always seems like this this red team's just not really where they need to be at the right time, and they're kind of slowly waddling around the map after them.
Yeah, they're letting blue team engage, getting the engages that they want, and then they're just reacting to it. They're not really calling like what they should be doing. They're just like, oh, they're doing this. We have to be there too now.
Yeah, I feel like this team, this red team, doesn't have a massive playmaking comp, but they definitely have some abilities to, you know, find opportunities to make these plays happen for themselves. For example, you know, a little bit better warding would, you know, there could be a better follow-ups, for example, from Rulo. I haven't seen him TP proactively more than once this game, and that would help them really kind of just even the pressure up. They wouldn't be losing 2-2, or maybe they could, if they had the knowledge, then they can posture a little bit differently and make the blue team back off in these fights. For example, like we saw around that red buff a little bit earlier.
Looks like red team does get a free dragon. Since what I like to call teams with 3 tanks, I usually call them like they're like hitmen basically. They just run around and like gang up on one guy and then beat them up, like 3 big bullies.
Oh, I will be okay here. A little bit spooky. He arcane shifts in, trying to keep that kiting down. Sorry, that slow down. And here's Silver for the play, and here comes the TP coming from Rula. The knock-up immediately, though. Great job from him. Rula looks for the play onto Y. Does ultimate him a little bit delayed, means that he's going to take a lot of damage, and he's going to go down. Actually, he's Zonia, so he's okay for now. Initial GT still has his ultimate, drops it right there, is able to keep himself up. Malphite has no ultimate, so he's going to go down. Supermandathoe, these guys are just getting kited forever. Dawnbringer's not even there. Dawnbringer with the wall, I believe, is up. Isn't able to just get it in time, but here comes Supermandathoe. Sorry, AsianGoneWild. They're not able to find it. That Iceborne Gauntlet, just so strong from Ezreal for the kiting here.
Really good Malphite ult, but unfortunately Kindred did get the ultimate off, so it didn't let Malphite get the kill in the end. And it's just Victor didn't came in a little bit too late, and it was kind of awkward because they weren't all grouped together for his AoE damage, so he had to split it apart, but it still wasn't enough.
Rek'Sai, oh my goodness, Rek'Sai, we were just talking about this. There's so much single target damage. The auto attack will not be enough. The Ezreal ult is on the wrong team, so he'll be okay. AsianGoneWild, very aggressive base positioning here. I do think they need to just get the hell out of here. Iceborne Gauntlet Ezreal, we've already seen how strong it is. These guys need to get out ASAP.
Um, Kindred is insanely way more ahead than the Rek'Sai right now. More than double his CS, and if this Kindred gets as lucky as she has been, like for the beginning of the game, with her marks, I think Red Team has this in the bag because they have so many like tanky people, like a lot of people that are building health, and Kindred will just shred all of their tanks basically. And like they're kind of like a wombo team, but if Kindred survives the initial wombo and then gets her ult off, then they can just equalize like how much damage they did because she can just cast ult on her own team basically.
Yeah, I'd love to see a little bit of either percentage or tank shredding damage coming from Kindred. I think that'd be awesome. Something like the Blade of the Ruin King really does well on her kit.
Yeah, Kindred super farmed up right now. Actually, more farm than their top laner even. Yeah, Malphite, Rek'Sai, and Alistar are all health tanks.
AsianGoneWild does shoot the calling the right way this time. Why? Tries to set up some sort of play. Doesn't actually arcane shift any of the damage, so it was close, but without a little bit more of an outplay.
Actually, I saw Lucian just crit like a lot of times there. I think it was like basically RNG in a scenario like that.
The thing about the Ezreal matchup is that you can E the Q damage essentially.
It's very hard to do though.
Yeah, it is. You gotta be a god, man.
I think it's even possible to just walk and dodge it.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's actually an animation cancel with Lucian that's recently been popularized where
You can cancel his
yeah.
his auto attack passive thing.
Well, you can cancel his Q with the auto attack passive thing, basically.
Yeah.
So instead of having to like stand there and kind of shoot your laser gun, it just comes out of you and you're already moving away by the time it comes out. It's pretty cool. Basically, you just all you need to do is just click away really quickly when you Q.
Looks like all around the board actually, except for top lane, red team is actually ahead in CS.
Yeah, 6,000 gold, man. Like they've got 3 towers to 0. That's a huge, huge thing. But it's standing gold, you know. It's something that like as soon as these towers go down, they'll be all right. But because you have an Anivia, because you have a Lissandra, you've got all of this wave clear, even coming out from Lucian with his culling when it comes down to it, it's going to be hard for them to take any of these towers.
I think in terms of poke though, blue team has the lead. What they have to do is like bring it back, like when they're fighting, and just kite back with the Ezreal, kite back. Yeah, now they're trying to siege because they poked a lot. Kindred had to go back. She was like almost dead basically. She still has an ult though.
Malphite looks for it. He does only find one, and it's only the Nautilus. So actually a really, really bad Malphite ultimate. He does get caught back, but they still have the opportunity to re-engage if they so choose. Rula comes in, does get chunked really hard. Might have to Zhonya's here. There it is. Oh my god, just a little bit more damage. The heal comes out. Initial JT is on a killing spree. He pops his ultimate. Silver does get saved by it as well. There's a lot of damage coming out from this blue team and the red team, but it looks like it's going to be the team with the double 80 carries. It's going to take it home. The wall comes out, flashed by Jordan Man 5.
Got to hit these Qs, man. You could have got 3 kills right there.
Yeah. The Kindred ultimate coming in clutch there, keeping that team alive. Jordan Man goes down. Cruz for life, rather. Looking for his hook, not able to find it. But just such a massive, just momentum switch this game. 10,000 gold lead. Not really how the pace of the game felt, but all these towers, you know, just how much of a fast push composition this is.
Like the only stat that they can really know in game is that it's kind of like deceptive. Like blue team thought that they were ahead in kills, so they probably thought, you know, like we're probably ahead in gold. But actually, if they looked at the CS and like how many towers they've gotten, red team is almost up by like 10k now.
Yeah. Yeah. It's just that's one of the things about, you know, these double 80 carry compositions, especially like when you have champions with a lot of like wave pushing lineup matchups. So like the Anivia, actually never mind, hold that thought. The Dragon does go over to the blue team here, so finally they get an objective. Initial JC jumps over the wall. AsianGoneWild is going to base in that bush. Actually, he's holding his base, trying to make some sort of a play, but yeah. So just having the double 80 carry and having those 2 mages that push so hard just getting that early gold, getting all 3 of those outer towers down within the first 20 minutes is absolutely massive.
We do see the Kindred, her passive where she does percent damage. It's coming into fruition now. It's more effective in the late game, and she does have the rapid fire, so she can fire her shots at a safe distance as well.
Yep. Speaking of that safe distance, Ezreal's also gotten his Muramana transformed, so he'll be doing a significant amount more damage now. But just look at the only 2 items he has right now. It's a significant amount more, but it's still far from enough.
Yeah, he's super behind compared to Lucian right now. I mean, Lucian has like 70 CS up, and he's already working on his 3rd item.
Yep, 70 CS, 6 kills. No comparison even really possible there. Blue team really just trying to control the vision around their side of the map right now. Looking for any sort of play they can get to come back in this game, but this massive, massive team, everyone on the team is just so big from the red team. They do so much damage. Even the Anivia, who's 1-4, still does a whole bunch of, CC and damage and just absolute shredding of those tanks.
And when someone's behind like that, they don't really pay attention to it, but Anivia's wall and her Q and her slow on are all they're all things that you have to like pay attention to still. They don't really care because you're like, I'm not gonna die to it. It's actually something that is very like deciding of these team fights as well.
Blue buff taken by Kindred.
Yeah.
Red buff taken by Ezreal. Interesting.
Well, it looks like Anivia did go for the Chalice path. So there is a lot of mana regen in that.
Alright, so here we go. That means a little bit more CDR onto Kindred is a little bit more mobility for her. And basically the only way that this team on the red team can really close out the game is just by having a full team fight. So if I were them, I'd actually probably posture around Baron right now. They have so much single target damage, they could burn it down really quickly, and it's not like they are going to dive in underneath this tower. They don't really have a dive composition. They've got, a little bit of catch with Nautilus, a little bit of catch with Lissandra. But just by sitting here, they're basically opening themselves up to be poked. They're opening themselves up to be hard engaged by a Malphite, by Wombo comboed by the Alistar. It's not something I necessarily agree with, and you can see they're forced out all the way back to their own tower here to kind of, try and get a little bit more health from the poke they've taken from that Ezreal.
The thing is that Ezreal is free to poke because they have nobody that can insta-CC. They don't know how many...
Rula's trying to find something, but I just don't think that's going to work unless he's coming from over a wall, from... somewhere where it's vision controlled or anything like that. It's just so obvious.
Their only point and click are like really hard CC that's like unflashable, or like that isn't really like easy to dodge is the Lissandra. And like even then, if you know where Lissandra is, you get...
So exactly, just go in the jungle, clear out the vision like they're doing right now, and then you can set it up with an Anivia wall.
Yeah, now the pressure is really scary for blue team now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So here they go, Supermandathoe and Y trying to scout out some of these bushes here.
Just has to poke with the Ezreal right now. That's like their win condition for these fights.
Yep. They need to find a good Malphite out. Like, this is perfect for Malphite if he can actually just find his way in there with a flank. But look, there is Rula. He's going to ult himself. No, he doesn't. A mechanical misplay to the extreme. He's going to go down immediately. Jordan M5 has popped his ultimate initial. JT goes so deep and pops his. Cruz just trying to slow up everybody. Initial actually leaves his ultimate, flashes back in. This stun comes from the Anivia. A great job also zoning out the Ezreal at the same time, preventing him from doing any more damage. AsianGoneWild will get the kill, but on the flip side, the wall goes down and Dawnbringer goes down. Y is alive for now, but he does get hit by the Nautilus chain. There's the hook, there's the triple kill, there's the quadra kill coming out for AsianGoneWild, and that is a massive cleanup for him.
Ezreal actually could have survived there. He did not have to eat. His E does very minimal damage. Like, yeah, if he just did one more Q instead, he would have. His Q does like more damage than his E. He would have survived there, and hopefully would have been able to like fend off this wave for a little bit, even because he does have his ultimate. And Rek'Sai is up as well.
Yep. Nobody really able to stop this push right now, so I think it's going to be an inhibitor. There's about 10 seconds on the majority of the team. It is obviously past 20 minutes. They do all have home guards, but is it going to be enough? It looks like
Malphite does have flash.
Are they going to get it? AsianGoneWild. They're trying to stick it out. They're trying to fight it out. Cruise for Life is going to opt to peel instead of getting that kill. I think that was a Heart of the Mountain that comes out. The Ezreal ult is dodged. Great reaction by him. And, letting this Nautilus go down is much, much better than letting your 80 carry go down. But is he going to go down in the first place? There's no ult available from Kindred. She actually had it, but opted not to use it.
saving it for the fight. That is a good call, I'd say, actually.
Hmm.
Or actually, Kindred, if Kindred did use their ult and their team opted on following up, like because Victor just they all
Hmm.
overcommitted to the
Hmm.
Nautilus kill there. Actually, I think that would have been a better play. Um, but you know, when you're in the heat of the moment, you can't always make the best decisions.
Yep. Crucially, 20 seconds up until he's back up in the game, and the entirety of his red team is still trying to set up around Baron. They're, outnumbered here. It's a little bit over cockiness, I'd say.
Yeah, but
It's
they do
only
see Ezreal at the bottom. He was farming.
good point. Good point. Ezreal on the bottom means that they at least know where one person is, and that is, a lot of the damage on this team.
Yeah.
He is working towards his Blade of the Ruined King now, which I think is probably the worst item he could build in this situation. Um,
What would you have built?
if you need lifesteal, go Bloodthirster. If you want damage, Essence Reaver. Infinity Edge, anything. It's just, why would you go for Blade of the Ruined King when the only person who's running at you is, just build even the QSS item that builds at a BF sword.
And the Mercurius up there?
Mm-hmm.
Very interesting.
There's only one person he's going to be Blade of the Ruined Kinging, and that's going to be either Initial JT or Cruise for Life. Everyone else is backline. Just doesn't really make a lot of sense. There's not many people that are going to be running at him.
Yeah, Blade of Ruined King did get severely nerfed, but we have seen it being a frequent item buy on Ezreal's recently, actually. Like Ezreal's and Kallista's.
I just, I don't think he's going to be auto-attacking that much. Sure, it procs off his Q, but
Yeah.
the only person he's going to be hitting is, Nautilus and Kindred. So,
Yeah.
it's just a very low damage build in that sense. It's like an auto-attack focus build, but you can see he's even building cooldown boots. So, makes you wonder. Makes you wonder. Supermandathoe really has this entire game on his shoulders right now. 7, 4, and 6. If they're going to win, it's going to be through him. And he's actually gone for the Iceborne Gauntlet sort of style as well by picking up that Rylat's Crystal Scepter.
AsianGoneWild is fed out of his mind. He's actually transcended into some godlike being right now. He is working on his last item already, and like everybody else on the other team is only on their like third item, or their 2 items are working on their third. Like they're on their third item, work on the fourth item, or second item, work on the third item, something like that. Giving the blue to Anivia, really smart call. She can just leave her ult on for the whole fight. It's around Baron time. You see the Kindred mark on the Baron, so maybe they're gonna try to prioritize that soon. You see in a lot of games in NA these days, like to pull off a Dignitas, which is you don't know what to do, you don't know how to pressure everything, so you're just like, let's just do Baron. So you know what I say in solo queue is, even if we're getting stomped, or even if we're like 10 or 20 kills behind, I'm always like, don't worry, they're gonna try Baron sometime in this game. And you know what? That's what we're gonna put our eggs in.
Yeah, and that's actually one of the mistakes that people make all the time. It's you can posture around Baron, but you don't actually need to do it. Just stand there, get some vision deep, let them come face check you, and then use your ulti. Use your Anivia wall.
Exactly. And actually, even when like Malphite or something initiates, if Anivia's not in it, she can just put a wall in, and then they can okay. If their team was there, then they could have just killed Malphite there.
But
now
unfortunately,
Anivia's out.
they're all split. Dawnbringer flashes and starts to walk back into the team, which is a little bit interesting. Malphite ulted one person, which could be a big problem in this game, considering that's basically how their entire comp works. Rula gets a lot of CC down. Supermandathoe gets locked up, but he's pretty tanky. And once again, Rula doesn't use his Zonias. Supermandathoe trying to live from AsianGoneWild, who's just melting everybody. Initial JT is basically a frontliner at this point. He will flash out and live, and AsianGoneWild is just going to melt everyone. That Iceborne Gauntlet will probably prevent any more kills from coming down, but that's an easy Baron for them.
Really interesting team fight there. Malphite tried to desperately get the play, and I think Dawnbringer actually bluffed it a little bit. They actually could have killed him, but when he turned around, he's like, yeah, my team's right behind me. But they're actually not like right behind him, they're like kind of behind him. They definitely could have killed him beforehand. This could be the game.
Yeah, it's like desperate kind of plays coming out from this blue team here.
Yeah.
Easy double. Yeah, definitely crazy. I mean, you see an Anivia all alone, your Malphite, you want to capitalize on it, but you're not the person that needs to do that. You need to save your ultimate.
I mean, yeah, it was like I think that bluff was actually a really good play. Like when he turned around, everyone was just like, "Oh my god!" Like you see how they could have actually killed him. Like his team was, like Dawnbringer's team was actually pretty far away. But then when Dawnbringer turned around, like just faced them, everyone was just like, "Oh my god, turn around!" Like his team's right behind him, dude. We're all gonna get like we overcommitted to this kill already. We lost this. We lost this fight. I mean, they did lose in the end. I think it kind of turned because they all got to a choke point where Victor could have like done so much damage over time with his ultimate, and he hit them like 4 people with his
Yeah.
laser. But when Victor committed to that, Lucian was on the other side, and nobody could punish Lucian for 1v1ing the Victor.
What do you think about the strategy of these both carries going for the CC items and getting the Rylai's and getting the oh, Rilla's going to be okay. He does get out of there for now. AsianGoneWild's going to melt up Silver. No problem at all. How do you feel about both carries sort of going for that Rylai's and Iceborne Gauntlet build? And what if they had just gone Triforce? Or what if they had just gone for, you know, straight Death Cap?
I think what they're trying to do here is
Oh, Supermandathoe. It doesn't
really
even
great
matter.
wombo.
Wow, that was a huge ultimate. Followed up by the Alistar. These guys just got melted. Don't forget, they have no real
they don't
tanks.
have Kindred. They could be chasing the. Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
They could have been just chasing the like They're not like Kindred doesn't have teleport. They're the jungler. They could have kept chasing. They already got the slow proc off. But I guess they're just scared of like. I guess they don't play Anivia as much as Dawnbringer does, so they don't know like. Oh my god, he probably has his Q is like 1 second cooldown. He's just gonna insta give me again.
Well, looks like they're losing 2 towers then. Those Baron minions are
All right. So
pretty savage.
what could have been a kill on the Anivia actually almost turned into a tower for red team. Just like okay. Anyways, so yeah, Kindred is max item right now. Kindred is huge, more than double CS on this Rek'Sai. That's phenomenal, phenomenal play by this Kindred here. And Asian's Gone Wild. Yeah, he's full build too. We went full damage items. Doesn't have GA. Doesn't have one defensive item. I mean, I guess you can kind of count Bloodthirster as a defensive item. It gives you a bit of a shield. How many stacks is that on Kindred? Is that like 6?
Oh, I think it's got to be way more than 6 at this point.
8
8,
stacks on.
yeah.
That's like 10%. 10% of somebody's life
Savage.
in every hit now. And yeah, basically, if you're at this point, like red team is definitely putting their lead. Like when Silver was caught out here, Silver was like, "You hit me, I'm not gonna let you get away with that." But actually, he should have let him get away with that because he's just bluffing. Everybody knows that you can't. Like, if you looked at if you press tabs once this game, you'd realize that you can't 1v1 anybody on the team. I don't even think you could beat Nautilus right now at this point. You have to be with your team, and right now you're just a knock-up. You just make sure they keep hitting you. You need to make sure that you give an opportunity for your Victor to do damage.
This
Right
has
now.
turned into a very long game, though. Almost 40 minutes right here, and it still could go either way. We saw the last way that team fight went. Kindred actually walking right into that Victor stun, just baiting her team, question mark? What is the CC here? Oh my goodness. The entirety of this red team just getting walked over. This is exactly what they could not have happened. AsianGoneWild is still up, though. Is he going to have enough damage to clean up everything? I think he might. Oh my goodness, he's so strong. 17, 3, and 11. It just doesn't matter. He just burns through those tanks in half a second. 1, 2, 3 shots. See you later, Ezreal. And that's going to be the game.
Really well executed. It looked like it was going into blue team's favor at the beginning of the game, but then later on, red team, you know, like that's just the 3-man. Like when you have the Bang Bro comp, that's what I like to call it. When you have like a lot of tanky HP people, and then there's like the Kindred, and when she's that fed, she almost has the most CS in the game. When she's that fed, she's just gonna cut down everybody. Honestly, even when you think you got her caught out, you just overcommit. That's the thing.
All right, well, a clean game, I would say, from this red team. A little bit longer than we expected. You know, quite long, actually. But at the end of the day, they take it home. And that means that we get to take a little bit of a break. Take a look at those damage charts. Victor doing quite a bit. Actually, you know, not even as really significantly more than the Ezreal, which I thought it would be the case. But maybe time to hit the drawing boards, take a little bit of a breather, see what's going on here. All right, so we will be back in just a little bit, taking a little bit of a break, getting something to eat. You guys should too, and see you in a bit.
Yeah, stay tuned.